The opening scene begins with three men searching for rare spider species in the vast North African desert. During their search, one of them discovers a hole and promptly calls over his companions. They inject poisonous gas into the hole and wait. Moments later, spiders start emerging, and one of them viciously attacks a man. He chokes in intense pain while his friends ignore him and capture the spiders. After collecting as many as possible, one group member walks over to the suffering man and ends his misery with a machete. The scene then shifts to our protagonist, Caleb, a young street hustler dealing in black market goods. He is at a jewelry store to buy some high-end items. Wanting the best, the store owner, Ali, takes him to a secret room with unregistered merchandise. Ali shows him a set of fine earrings, but Caleb is fixated on the collection of rare creatures, especially the spider from the earlier scene. He decides to take the spider along with the jewelry. Before leaving, Ali warns him about the spider's extreme toxicity, advising caution. Caleb returns to his apartment in a large ring-shaped building. He encounters some kids playing with firecrackers and littering the area. Realizing they're making the janitor's job harder, Caleb confiscates the firecrackers and scolds them. He then meets his friend and business partner, Mathis, who is also a part-time MMA fighter. Together, they sell Nike sneakers to the locals. While checking the deliveries, Caleb notices one shoebox is wet from a pipe leak. Mathis suggests delivering the shoes in the same box, but Caleb insists on maintaining quality and asks Mathis to get a new box. Caleb enters the apartment he shares with his sister, Manon. His room is filled with aquariums of rare insects, showing his fondness for arachnids. Manon is frustrated with Caleb for spending money on bugs instead of helping with household expenses. She complains, but Caleb brushes her off. He then places the poisonous spider in the damaged shoebox until he can make a proper home for it. That night, Caleb attends a small birthday party for a woman named Claudia, who cared for him and Manon after their mother's death. Grateful, Caleb gives Claudia the earrings he bought, making her overjoyed. After the party, he returns to his room to find the spider has escaped the shoebox. Panicked, he searches for it, but only finds a cocoon. Fearing an attack at night, he locks the room and sleeps on the couch. The next morning, Caleb wakes to the sound of a drill. His sister is remodeling the apartment with the help of her friend Lila and Lila's boyfriend Jordy. Shortly after, Mathis arrives with a new shoebox. After packing, Caleb delivers the shoes to a local resident, Tumani. Another resident observes the transaction and suspects drug smuggling, but decides not to intervene. Later, as Tumani tries on the shoes, something bites him. A spider emerges, terrifying him. Tumani kills it and his dog eats it, but the danger isn't over. The spider has laid millions of eggs inside the shoe. They hatch and attack Tumani, who tries to call Caleb but can't reach him. Meanwhile, Caleb returns to his room to find uninvited friends looking at his insect collection. Upset, he orders them out and blocks the door to prevent the spider from escaping. Unbeknownst to him, the spider has already started causing havoc by reproducing. By this time, Tumani is seen choking in severe pain, ultimately leading to his death. Afterwards, the neighbors in the apartment hear the incessant barking of Tumani's dog. They then gather outside his room and knock on the door. When Tumani doesn't respond, they force open the door, only to be greeted by his lifeless, blood-covered body lying on the floor. Soon after, the police take over the scene. Upon investigating the place for a while, they wrap the body in a plastic bag and take it for a post-mortem. Afterwards, the residents take Tumani's dog and gather in Caleb's room to comprehend the situation. During this, a local resident tries to blame Caleb, claiming that he sold drugs to Tumani earlier. However, Jordy asserts that there are no marks of syringes on the body, so it's definitely not a case of drug overdose. On the other hand, the janitor is cleaning the basement when she notices that all the air vents are covered with spiders and their webs. She uses bug spray to wipe them out, but this only forces them deeper into the ventilation system. Sometime later, Lila goes to use the bathroom when the vent cover falls down. She tries to put it back, but accidentally trips and falls. While getting up, Lila notices a towel moving slowly. As she proceeds to lift it, a spider suddenly jumps on her, scaring her heart out. Following this, she immediately locks herself in the shower and calls her boyfriend for help. Jordy initially decides to capture the spider in a glass, but after seeing how big it is, he opts to kill it. He covers the spider with the towel and stomps on it repeatedly. Thinking that it's dead, he lifts up the towel, but to his horror, The spider has replicated into numerous tiny ones. The two then quickly seal the bathroom from outside and run away. In the aftermath, everybody turns to Caleb, demanding the truth. They believe that he is responsible for all the chaos. Left with no options, he finally admits that he bought one little spider that escaped from its box, leaving only the cocoon behind. Jordy then proceeds to inspect the box, but as soon as he opens it, he has to shut it instantly. Turns out the box is now filled with spiders. Meanwhile, the janitor continues to clean the basement when she comes across a bunch of spider webs on the ceiling. Intrigued, she opens a vent on the ceiling, only to find numerous spiders making their web. Unaware of the danger they possess, the woman sprays 2 poison cans at once and climbs up to see what happened. However, the resilient spiders are still alive, and they immediately attack her to death. Back in Caleb's apartment, Jordy suggests that they evacuate the building and report the problem to the authorities. Everyone agrees, but before they leave, Caleb and Mathis decide to inform the rest of their neighbors. The duo then goes door to door to warn them about the impending danger, while the others wait in Caleb's room. However, their efforts prove futile as nobody responds to them. They eventually come across Claudia's room and find the door open. As they make their way inside, they find her asleep in front of the TV. Caleb proceeds to wake her up, but he's terrified to see spiders coming out of her body, revealing that she's already dead. In the meantime, Jordy reads online that some spider species can grow 10 times bigger than their mother to neutralize their predators. Just then, they hear a sound coming from the kitchen. They go to check and shockingly come across a huge spider emerging from the dead dog's stomach. Sensing the immense threat, Jordy, Lila, and Manon decide to leave the building right away. Caleb and Mathis join them in the hallway, and the group makes their way towards the exit. When they find the main door covered with giant spiders, they plan to leave through the basement parking lot. But unfortunately, the alley before the parking lot is basically where the spiders are living. As the group brainstorms ideas to escape, Caleb sets the timer for the light bulb in the room. This is when they notice that the spiders stop moving as the light is on. With this information, Manon devises a plan. She decides to stay back and hold the timer switch until the group crosses the alley. Caleb hesitates to leave his sister behind, but she assures him that she'll catch up to them. Following this, Manon holds the switch, while the others put on their hoods and cautiously make their way through the spiders and their thick webs. Once they reach the other side, Manon sets the timer to the longest setting and runs toward her group. But as she gets closer to the end of the alley, the light goes out, causing her to halt. The spiders slowly surround her, and it appears that she's going to meet her demise. However, Caleb arrives in the nick of time and pulls her towards him. Although they manage to cross the alley safely, they're unable to get out because the police from the other side have held the door shut. When the group tries to break it open, the cops release smoke bombs, forcing them to retreat to the other side again. Upon reaching the stairs, they realize that Jordy is missing. Caleb hurriedly opens the alley door to rescue him, but it's already too late. Jordy is wrapped in a web and stung by dozens of spiders. The rest of the group members then hide themselves in a room and mourn their friend's loss. After a while, Mathis comes up with an idea to go to the roof so that they can find some help from the neighborhood. The group members wonder if they'll be able to fight the spiders, to which Mathis points towards some firecrackers, asserting that they can defend themselves. Following this, they begin climbing the stairs while fending away the spiders with the help of firecrackers, flares, and torchlights. When they run out of supplies, Caleb grabs a Molotov cocktail and throws it towards the spiders. This buys them some time to escape upstairs, and they somehow manage to lock themselves in a top-floor room. Shortly after, the police break into the room and proceed to take them into custody. The group desperately insists that they're not infected, but the cops remain unconvinced. As a result, a physical altercation ensues between the two parties. The cops eventually manage to knock all of them down before cuffing their hands. Later, when they regain consciousness, they find themselves in the parking lot, where the cops are gathering the bodies of spiders that were killed by poisons. Amidst this, Caleb notices that Mathis has already been bitten by a spider, and the infection is gradually getting worse. Knowing that he doesn't have much time left, Mathis makes a brave decision to sacrifice himself and create a distraction so his friends can escape. He turns off the generator and breaks into the alley door, making way for the spiders to pour out. As expected, a swarm of spiders emerges from the door, prompting the police force to shoot at them. This distraction allows the group members to free themselves from the restraints and flee towards Lila's car. During this, Manon gets stuck behind a van due to the ongoing gunfire. Caleb goes to rescue her, only to get shot in his knees. But despite this setback, he wraps up the wound with a piece of cloth and rushes to the car along with his sister. The three friends then start the car and hit everything in their way as they drive through the parking lot. They somehow manage to reach the exit gate and breathe a sigh of relief upon seeing the sunlight. In the final scene, all the deceased people are honored by having their pictures posted on a monument. Furthermore, the entire ring-shaped building is demolished, eradicating all the spiders inside. We later see Caleb sitting in the forest when a little spider appears on the back of his jacket. But instead of killing it, he gently grabs it with his bare hands and leads it towards the bush.
Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.